There was a time when I thought I would never finish this damn second draft, but I can feel it. We're reaching the end. I know finishing a second draft doesn't sound like a big deal, especially since it's not the manuscript I'm going to send out to agents, but I worked on this novel for so long. I'm too embarrassed to even say for how long. But it's my baby, and nearing the end feels momentous to me. It means a lot to me. You know, I consider being a writer a huge part of my identity, so this is a big deal. So in this vlog, I'm taking you through the final push to finishing my second draft. I can't promise there won't be any tears, but let's go back to a couple of days ago. This is feeling weird because this is actually going to be the last time I'm gonna film a vlog for the second draft of Project Mirror, and it feels very strange. I feel like it's been such a long journey, and now that's coming to an end, I kind of feel a bit at a loss for words, maybe. As you guys know, my word count is 118,000 words. But now that I'm nearing the end, I've realized that there's no point in trying to reach that word count because it's such an arbitrary number. I should just finish this book when the book feels finished, especially since some of the writing won't even make it to the final draft. So why should I be writing for the sake of writing instead of just ending the draft when it's ready? I suppose that's also why I don't actually feel that stressed and rushed about the deadline. Like, I actually feel surprisingly calm and relaxed. And I think partially it's because I'm nearing the end, but then I also think it's because I decided not to put that pressure on and, you know, just trying to aim for this arbitrary number that doesn't actually mean anything. Because if the book is finished, it's finished. As you guys watch a montage of my day, I want to tell you a few stats regarding my debut novel, because this one's been in the works for a long time, and I hope that hearing the long journey I took to get here will give you some courage with your own projects. Just a little summary, I had the original idea for Project Mirror in November 2023, but I didn't really like that draft, so I didn't really write my first draft until Feb 2024, and I finished it in July of that same year. And then I started my second draft in August of, again, the same year, which is now almost 2 years ago. But I didn't finish it, and I decided that I didn't like the plot anymore. I didn't like what I've written, and I wanted to overhaul the whole story. And like a weirdo, I decided to call it the third draft. And I started that one in December of, again, 2024. So if you've been keeping up, you can tell that I was a very busy woman in 2024 because I finished a whole draft and started 2 new ones. Then, if you can even believe it, I did it 3 more times. So I ended up with a 6th draft in September 2025, and that is the draft that you're looking at right now. I finally committed to a draft, started calling it the second draft like any normal person would have, and I'm gonna finish it, actually finish another draft of Project Mirror, and it feels surreal. Because if you look at all these dates, I started the second draft of Project Mirror as early as August 2024, which is almost 2 years ago. That is honestly so wild and slightly depressing. This draft actually feels a little bit different. I know I've written many second drafts, but for the first time, I'm actually committing to the plot points, and I know exactly which direction I want to take this story, and I think that's a big deal. I feel like I finally figured out the core of the book, of what I'm trying to tell with Project Mirror. Yeah, it's very exciting that I finally, after that many iterations, have ended up with a story that I'm actually happy with. And I also think that future drafts will be a lot easier. I've got something to work with now that I can expand, I can change, instead of just having a blank page and not really knowing where I want to take the characters. I feel it was necessary for me to go through all these iterations to actually understand the core of my book. And now that I do know it, I can just feel that the final manuscript is near. Like, I'm still aiming to finish it by the end of the year. Yeah, it's exciting that we're actually almost there. I feel like the second draft is always a bit hard. And it was a big learning curve, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I think I needed it, and I just know that when I start a different book, it will be so much easier because I've learned so much writing Project Mirror. The baby that I love but also hate. The baby that I love and love to hate, but hate to love and hate. Hi friends, it's been a while since I've caught up with you or spoken to you, I guess, one-on-one. I just know today is going to be the last day of writing this damn draft. So started off with the morning, as you saw, doing some morning pages. I did a bit of yoga with Katie as well, but I didn't film it because I just forgot. I just rolled out of bed and did yoga. I wasn't gonna, as I think about filming. Then I read a little bit of The Poet Empress. My god, please somebody tell me they're reading this book too, because it's so good. And I'm not gonna talk in detail about it right now because I haven't finished the book. I think I've got like 40 pages left. And also, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but I really desperately want to rant about it. So yeah, we'll see if I'm gonna do that. It's really good so far, and as I've predicted, I think it's heading for a 5-star read. And also, I think it might be my favorite book of the year, but I guess it's a bit premature to determine that in April. Like, we still have 3 quarters left. And then Kelly and I went for a run, which felt really good. We started doing the Couch to 5K challenge, which has been really fun. If you know me in real life, you'll know I'm terrible at running. I have terrible stamina as well. So yeah, I've been liking it. I think it helps my mind. It helps me regulate my thoughts and also just gives me energy. It kind of rewires my chemistry a little bit. So yeah, I've been enjoying it and I will try to keep that going. Yeah, we came back, had a bit of lunch, some snacks, and now I'm finally gonna write the last words for Project Mirror Draft 2. So the thing is with Project Mirror is I kind of, towards the end, it was like I could feel the end was imminent. So I felt like I wanted to drag it out a little bit because I was kind of stuck with the end scene anyway. Well, not the end scene, but like one of the final scenes. And I was like, in order to write it properly and for it to actually be productive, I would have to do a lot of reworking and brainstorming. But I'm not going to do that now when we're so close to the finish line. So what I did instead was kind of go through the draft and see if there are any scenes that I've kind of skipped, because I did skip some scenes that I just wasn't so sure about. So I'm gonna go write that. I'm kind of still writing one of the final battle scenes, just so, you know, there's something to work with when I'm editing. And then I'm gonna go back to one of the previous scenes that I've skipped, which is kind of a scene that happens at the beginning of part 2, where they're at an auction and Kaya finds out something that will determine the direction of the plot lines. And then also it is the scene before something happens between Kaya and Teo. I'm not going to tell you guys the details. I'm quite excited about this chapter because it will lead to a momentous scene between Kaya and Teo. But yeah, I'm feeling super excited. I don't know, it just feels like it's been a long journey and we're finally here now. And it's my birthday tomorrow, so I'm kind of trying to finish the draft today, so because I don't want to work tomorrow. I'm so busy. I've got so many things I want to do tomorrow. Yeah, let's get back into it and hopefully finish this damn novel with me. Congratulations, my girl. Thank you. Oh my god, I'm so excited to not look at this for like a month.